Hey friends, welcome back. Today I wanted to do just like a quick everyday makeup look, and I wanted to just do like a one and done eyeshadow. And this is going to be more of like a summer everyday makeup look that I know is going to last in the summer heat and humidity. If I want to do a full face of makeup that will last in summer heat and humidity, I like to use the Revlon Color Stay. And I know that maybe for some people this might be a little too like full coverage for summertime, but this seriously lasts. If I am like really hot and sweaty, this will hold up. Like last year when I went to the beach and wore this, and I didn't always wear makeup at the beach. It's more like if I put makeup on when we were going out to lunch or dinner or something like that, it was still hot and humid, and this held up really well. Yeah, I find that in the wintertime, sometimes Revlon Color Stay can be a little too, like, not necessarily drying, but because my skin isn't as oily and it's not as humid out, it can just look kind of dull on my skin. I'm just gonna blend this out with my Wet n Wild makeup sponge. And I'm still sounding a bit nasally. I'm still getting over my ear infection. I mean, I feel back to normal. It's just that I sound a little bit congested. And honestly, like with this Revlon Color Stay foundation, as long as you don't apply like a ton of it, like it doesn't actually look like super full coverage. So usually in the summer, I just apply a little bit more light so it's not heavy. And then if I need to add some more coverage in areas like my nose or around my mouth, I'll just go in with like my concealer. So let's use the e.l.f. Camo Concealer, because I don't use this a ton in my videos. And this is one of those concealers that I cannot wear in the winter. It's just really emphasizes, I've got like an eye booger. It just emphasizes dryness on the under eyes if I use this in the winter months. And I just would not consider my skin type to be dry, but in the winter, my skin can, be slightly a little bit more dry. So this is definitely more of a summertime concealer for me, but this stuff really lasts. It has amazing coverage. So usually my go-to concealers summertime is this one, Tarte Shape Tape. And I don't really know about this Rimmel Multitasker Concealer. Like I just got that concealer over the winter, so I have not used that much. Well, I mean, I have been using it a lot lately, but I wouldn't say that we're completely into summer yet, just because it's still the beginning of June, which by the time you guys see this, it probably will. Well, no, I'm going to post this on Thursday and today is Wednesday, so literally the next day. But yeah, we're not completely into summer yet. And the shade that I use in this e.l.f. Camo Concealer is in Medium Sand. So I'm just putting that concealer in areas where I want just slightly a little bit more coverage. Okay, and then to set everything, I'm going to use the MCO Beauty Miracle Flawless Pressed Powder. This stuff is amazing. This is such a great dupe to the Charlotte Tilbury powder. So I'm just using my e.l.f. flat top brush to just press that in. And if your skin is a little bit more on the dry side, or maybe if you live in a climate that's not quite as humid as where I live, you could just not set this foundation with the powder because it does set pretty nicely by itself. But just to help with the lasting power and to help control the shininess for me, I do like to set everything with the powder, especially in the summer. And then to set the under eyes, I'm going to go in with a little triangle powder poof with a little bit of this powder on there and just lightly press it. And that's just going to help to keep the concealer from creasing and to help it to last. Okay, and then for my brows, I'm just going to go in with just like one of my brow pencils. This is the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil in Neutral Brown. So I'm just brushing my eyebrow hairs up first. And then I'm just gonna fill my brows in really quickly with this pencil. And then to set my brows in place, I'm just using the Maybelline Super Lock, the tinted brow gel in the shade Deep Brown. You do have to be a little bit careful with this brush. It can get a little bit gooped up. I have noticed that since I've been using this over the past like week or so. And I have these like crazy baby hairs right now. I do not know what's going on with my hair, but I am gonna go ahead and prime my eyelids with the Milani eyeshadow primer. Okay, and I'm gonna let that dry for a second. I'm gonna use this brush here. I got it out of an Amazon brush set, so I'll have that set linked down below, but it's kind of like a pinched, fluffy sort of brush. So this will be really good to like put the shadow on the lid and use in the crease. So this is a good like one and done brush. But I am using the classic Wet n Wild single shadow in Nutty. This is one of my favorite shadows, like when I want a bronzy, taupey look. Such a beautiful one and done eyeshadow. So I'm just getting that shade here on the brush, placing that here all over the lid, and then working it up into the crease. But dang, like Wet n Wild Nutty has been around, I feel like, since I first started my YouTube channel in 2011. It's such a classic. Plus, it's also like one of those things like back in 2011, especially with drugstore eyeshadows, you just never knew if they were going to be good or bad. And that Nutty eyeshadow was one of those shadows that was so good for that time, especially at the drugstore. I mean, shadows were really hit or miss back then. And I'm just using this Sigma Pencil E30. Okay, and then that is it for the eyeshadow. So, I mean, if you wanted to use like a brow bone highlight, inner corner highlight, you could totally do that. But I just wanted to do a one and done shadow today. And now I'm going to move on to like my bronzer. And first I'm going to use the Morphe Sudden Heat Creamy Bronzer Stick in Flicker. So I'm just going to first put this down, and then once I get this blended out, then I'm going to go on top of this with a bronzer, like with a powder bronzer, to set everything, to really get this to last. I did this technique yesterday and it lasted so well. So I think honestly my favorite way to use this Morphe bronzer stick is to use it underneath powder bronzers to really amp up that lasting power. So I'm just using another brush from that Amazon brush set, and dang these baby hairs. But I would say that that is like one of my tips, that especially in the summer, if you really want your bronzer to last well, is to apply like a liquid or like one of these cream bronzer sticks, and then on top of that apply a powder, and that is really going to lock it on and really going to help it stay in heat and humidity. Then I'm just going to take whatever's left on this and just kind of pat it around my nose there. I'm going to use the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation in a powder. This is in the shade Golden Beige, so this is kind of like a bronzer shade for me. This is really going to lock on that bronzer stick and just ensure that it is going to last all day long. So I'm just going to kind of blend this in the same areas where I put that stick. And I'm just using the Sigma F30. And And for the blush, I'm going to do the same thing, use like a cream and then top it with the powder to help with the lasting. And I'm going to use the Revlon Icon Blush in Authentic Peach. It's been a minute since I have used this, and I really like this product. I know it's kind of similar to like the Morphe blushes, but this is from Revolution Beauty. So I'm going to go in with the cream first. But this peach shade is even like brighter in tone than the Morphe. It's like a really light, bright peachy color. And then on top of that, I'm going to go in with the powder. I also love how this palette has a highlight in here as well, like a powder highlight. So I'm going to use this as the highlight today. Also just makes this makeup look quicker because all your products are in one. And I really like the highlight in this. It's really pretty. To set everything, I'm going to use the Urban Decay. This is normally what I would use if I wanted to really lock on my makeup to ensure that it's going to not go anywhere throughout the day. This is my staple, but I'm basically out of this. So my next favorite is the Milani Make It Last. I do find that with this one, it tends to bring a little bit more glow to my face than the Urban Decay All Nighter. So, you know, if you don't want your face to be too overly shiny with this, I just recommend to lightly mist. But this is a really great lasting setting spray from the drugstore. So I'm going to go ahead and mist my face with this. All right, so off camera, I brushed my hair out, got it styled, and I also did my mascara off camera. So on my upper, I just used the Maybelline Lash Sensational, and on the lower lashes, I used the e.l.f. Lash Extender because this stuff does not smudge on the lower lashes, so I like to use that on the lower. But yeah, so now we're gonna figure out like what lip I wanna do. And I want to do like a long wearing everyday lip, and I've really been enjoying this L'Oreal. This is their long wearing like shiny lipstick. So this is in the color Worth It. The formula on this is very similar to the Maybelline Superstay Vinyl Inks. Like once it dries down, it locks onto your lips and it lasts for such a long time. It has a nice glossy finish, and I love this color. It's just a great everyday peachy nude, like warm peachy nude. I think it pairs really nicely with the blush and the eyeshadow and everything. So this is the final makeup look. So I hope that you guys enjoyed getting ready with me this morning. Just a quick, everyday, long-lasting summer makeup look, just using like a one and done eyeshadow. So if you guys enjoyed this, give this video a thumbs up. Thank you all so much for like your well wishes for me to get better from being sick. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.